Hi guys, I wanted to do a video showing you a quick look for summer that I like to use because it gives you that kind of great flawless coverage but with an effortless no makeup summery look, because unfortunately when I wake up in the morning this is what I'm working with. As you can see, I have kind of the darker discoloration around my eyes. I get a lot of discoloration around my nose. I have some like wannabe breakouts on my chin, so I find that this is a great look to give you some natural coverage. So first of all, I always start out, I've already pre-moisturized and prepped the skin. So what the first thing I'm going to put on is some BB cream, and I'm going to use Unique Flawless BB cream in the color Honey. And this is a shade darker than my normal foundation. And I'm literally just going to take a pea-size amount on my fingertips, and I'm going to first place product on my face where I want it. And I'm going to actually use one of my favorite tools, which is my hands, to spread that out. Now, this is a little different. I've started trying a new method, and that is where I'm putting my BB cream on first and letting it sort of sink into the skin and do all the wonderful things that it does for my skin, and then actually layering my glorious primer on top. So I'm going to let that do its thing, and while it's kind of sinking in, I'm going to fill in my brows. And I personally have a hard time doing my brows with pencils, so I like to use powder. So I'm going to use one of our pigments. It's called Infatuated, and it's kind of like a darker matte brown. And I use this brush. It's one I got like a million years ago. It's got an angled brush on one end and a spoolie on the other. And when I do my eyebrows, I usually brush them down first so that I can see my natural arch. And I'm just going to take a little bit of product in the top of the lid. And I really believe that between excellent coverage on your skin with your skin tone and eyebrows and eyelashes, it really makes the biggest impact on your whole face. So if you're not filling in your brows, you need to be. So that's it for that. Easy. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some primer on. So they've updated the packaging, but I still am using the tons of product that you get, the Glorious Face and Eye Primer, Makeup Primer. I'm just going to use one pump, which is like the size of a pea. And again, first I'm going to place it where I want, which is up my nose, not up my nose, but on my nose, under my eyes, forehead, chin, and then the last bit I'll just kind of spread on the cheeks. And I'm going to just, again, using my fingers, keeping it easy. Already, I'm getting a lot more evenness in my face. So now what I'm going to do is use our Mineral Touch pressed powder. And there's two tools that I use with this. I use the sponge pad that comes with it, but I also use the Unique powder puff brush when I put on this product. So I'm just going to take my sponge pad and get some of the pressed powder on there. And again, I'm really looking at placing product where I need the most coverage. So I'm going to go under the eye. The color I'm using, by the way, is Taffeta, which is a little bit dark for me during the winter, but during the summer it's kind of perfect. And so again, I'm just placing this. And I don't know if you can see, but like it's like photoshopping my face. It's crazy. It just evens it all out. Okay, and it's not blended or anything, so that's where my powder puff brush is going to come in. Clean brush, haven't done anything with it. I'm just going to buff this out. The sponge lays it on in a perfect awesome coverage way, but then I feel like the brush just sort of gives you that perfect blended kind of airbrush finished. Okay. Alright, so again, now you can see all those areas I had of redness. Okay. Really great coverage there. Even my eyes, you know, where I was really kind of red and discolored on my eyelids, looking a lot more smooth. Easy. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is, now that I've taken all the color away from my face, I'm going to build some dimension back up in an easy way, which is using Beachfoot bronzer. The color I use is Sunset. I love, love, love this bronzer. It comes with two sides. One side is matte, one side is shimmer. I am going to use a different puffy brush that is actually, it's a Laura Mercier bronzer brush that's just a soft, fluffy brush, because my powder puff brush I want to keep kind of not having bronzer, but let bronzer on it because I'm going to use it again later. But if you only had that brush, you could easily put your bronzer on with it and then clean it with a Kleenex or like a soft white cloth and just brush off the color and use it clean again. So I'm just going to give this a swirl and taking my brush, I'm going to come in and do the tiniest bit of contouring, kind of following that E shape, or 3. Okay, that's what I'm doing. And the great thing about using a big fluffy brush like this is you're probably going to have a super natural application because the bristles are so soft and it's just really laying color on soft. And so you're just getting that kind of sun-kissed effect around the hairline, the jawline, and those hollows of the cheeks. Okay, so you can see I just added in cheekbones there. All right, awesome. Okay, then I like to do the added step of just a few more areas. So I just have another brush that came in like a brush set. It's just a soft, fluffy brush that's like this. And it is easy to use. Any eyeshadow brush would work. And so I'm going to get some bronzer on that. And I'm going to go ahead and do some soft contouring of my nose. And I'm going to go right from the brow down each side, under the tip. And then I'm actually going to come in here and give myself some dimension because for this look I'm not really going to be using any eyeshadow. Okay, and then a little bit right here. Okay, and again you can see I'm building the shape of my face. So there's your bronzer. Then I'm going to come in with Moonstruck Minerals pressed blusher, which I love. It has such a great color payout. This is sweet. It's like the perfect shade for anybody. It's got like a light, almost peachy pink, and I know sometimes the word peachy pink would kind of scare people off, but it is gorgeous. And I'm going to use the Unique blusher brush. It's got kind of an angle, really stiff packed bristles, and it's going to lay your blush on really nicely. And so I'm focusing on being above where I applied that bronzer and on my cheekbone. And for the shape of my face, I usually come to right about even with my eye. Oops. Okay, or like where, if I'm looking straight ahead, where the eye would start. And every face shape's a little bit different, you know. So you have to, and I can certainly, you know, send you some face charts to see where you should apply your blush or contour because you're trying to flatter your own face shape. And so for me, I focus less on the apple and it's more on just the tops of right where my cheekbones actually are. Okay, and so then you're getting some nice color there. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do is to just sort of blend everything and set it. You could certainly just blend this with a clean brush. I'm going to actually use a little bit of our unique Flawless, My Color is Fabulous. It's a concealer powder, and this is very similar to any other loose mineral powder, but I really like the light amount of coverage that I'm going to get with that. So I'm going to come back to this powder puff brush that, and I'm just going to take some in the cap, just a tiny bit, and I'm going to really hit the areas where I need a little extra coverage. Sorry, something just popped up on my computer screen. Okay, so I'm going to hit the areas that I need extra coverage, which is under my eyes, my nose, and my chin. And I'm really not looking to apply much more, okay? What I'm really doing is just taking this clean brush, and I'm going to go in a swirling upward motion and kind of down on the sides here. Okay, everywhere that that bronzer and blush went. Just make sure that I'm really blended. So I don't want any streaky, stripy effect. Okay, so you're making sure that your neck's really blended too. Alright, and so now you've pretty much created your flawless finished face, and now I'm going to kind of teach you what the next step that I like to do is this new trend that's out there that everyone is talking about is strobing, and apparently I've been doing this for a long time. It's really related to highlighting. So we've all heard about highlight and contour. Highlight is where you're adding light to your face. Contour is where you're adding depth and shadow to your face. Well, what makes strobing different? Strobing is where you're really taking almost like an iridescent shine highlighter, and you're applying it in places to really up the highlight, and you're doing it with such an iridescent color that's going to reflect light off your face so well that you really don't even need to contour necessarily. Well, I always feel like my face could use that little extra color of bronzer, so I always do a little bit of contouring. But for strobing, there's two products that I'm really liking right now. One of them is the Unique Pigment. I store all mine upside down, sorry, and it's Curious. And this color is this sort of white, I would almost describe it as yellowy white iridescent. And then the other color that's great for strobing is our cream shadow that just came out, Charming, which I know is going to translate looking kind of like a seafoam green, but on my skin I've noticed it really just picks up yellow. Which is kind of what you want with strobing. You want that kind of not so white that you look painted weird, but at the same time you want it to give you a lot of light. Okay, so I'm going to start with the cream shadow, and I'm actually going to just use my finger to apply. And where I do all of my strobing, so I've got some on here, is in a couple of places. So I'm going to go right under the brow bone here. Okay, and actually above, all right, so below and above my brow, and then in a very thin strip right down the center of your nose. Okay, you can do this little upside down triangle right here in between the brows, the inner corners of the eye. And I feel like using my finger gives me a really nice light application with this. I think sometimes when people who are first trying strobing, what I've seen a lot of feedback out there is that people feel like it's laying on way too thick. And that could be because depending on the brush that you're using, it can be a little too much. So, and you can also do an upside down triangle on your chin. So that was all with my finger. Oh, and then one of the most important places is the top of where you place that blush, kind of under the eye, right on top of that bone. You can feel your bone right there. So if you imagine like if you were a skeleton and this was your eye socket, that's what you're trying to hit right there. Okay. And that is strobing, and it just sort of it's picking up and reflecting light. So I don't know how well you can see that on camera, so I'm going to go over it with Curious, just so you can kind of see maybe if there's any sort of a difference, if it picks it up more. But for this, you could use your finger again, or you could use a really soft, fluffy kind of ponytail blending brush, okay? And again, with that, over, now you can see this, I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can. You get kind of a whiter, lighter effect there. Okay. And you have to do very little re-dipping of the brush. I mean, you're really hardly getting any on there. And I think if you go a little too crazy with this, especially if you're someone that's kind of oily, you could go overboard and this would look a little crazy, okay? Because you know you're kind of adding a lot of shimmer and shine, and if you're already kind of shimmery and shiny, that might not be the desired effect. So what you could do is do the same kind of strobing placement and highlighting placement, but you could use a pigment like Angelic, which is kind of a white yellow that's flat or matte, and it will still give you that reflection of light off your face, but at the same time not add a ton of shine or sparkle if you're concerned with looking too shiny. So I mean, I don't know if you can see, like, even just on my lip there, how it just beautifully shaped with that Cupid's bow, and then I still have that little bit of contour bronzer underneath, and I haven't added any color to my lips yet, and it's already giving you some dimension, and you know, really kind of sculpting out your face. And so like if I kind of come back from the camera, I think you can really see how the light is just sort of bouncing off those areas. I mean, look at underneath the brows, you know, and down that center of the nose. You're really getting that extra glowy light that comes off of all the right spots. Okay, so let's finish off the face with some mascara and then lip gloss. And that's basically a great summer look. So I'm, of course, going to use my all-time favorite Unique Fiber Lash Mascara. Let's see if I can get them facing the right way, with my gel fiber gel application, and then I am going to finish off the look with our lucrative lip gloss in Lovesick, and that's pretty much how I'm gonna finish my look. So let me get right to it. Alright, so got my fiber lashes on, and I never ever worry about if I get a little spot on my eyelid, because it's always easier to clean up dry than it is when it's wet. So I just leave it until the very end when I'm all done, and then clean up any little mishaps from there. So I've got my fiber lashes on, which hopefully, I don't know how well, because I'm using my computer camera, that you can see how much length I got off of that, but these make a huge impact on my eyelashes because I literally have no eyelashes. They're just very thin, very short, very blonde, and they're just really hard to see. So I love what that mascara does for me. Okay, and then I just finished off with some Lovesick gloss, and you have a very natural looking application for summer that's perfect. I actually don't normally wear my hair in pigtails or French braids like this. I'm actually doing an experiment of creating easy beach waves, so I'll let you know how that goes when I take them out. So, but I thought I would do this quick tutorial for you so that you could see that you can do a really glowy, pretty look with minimal effort. And it's so funny because ever since I started using Unique face products, so forget the lashes for now, because everyone talks about the lashes, but just the face product of the different foundations, blush, bronzer, highlighting tools, etc. It is crazy to me how many people have been like, oh, well, you have perfect skin. You have that glowy, perfect skin. And I'm like, what? I really, really don't. It's all about your skincare, making sure that you're moisturizing and, you know, doing right by your skin, not stripping it with harsh cleansers and chemicals like my husband does. But what you're doing is nourishing, feeding your skin, and I don't do anything too special besides, you know, use my moisturizer and my eye serum from Unique, and then using high quality mineral products on my skin has really helped, and just, you know, learning how to create that glowy look that everybody wants. You can have it. You can. I actually did a lady's makeup at a show that I was at where she was complaining about how dull her complexion was. And I was like, well, girl, put some shine on there. And I showed her kind of a way to, much like this strobing effect, to create that shine that she was looking for, and she was so happy. She was kind of like an older lady, probably upper 50s, early 60s, and it was gorgeous. So anybody can do this, but you do need to do it properly in order to not look like a crazy person and having glitter all over your face. You know, you want to pick high quality products with a very nice shimmer that's going to do what you want it to do. Place that shimmer appropriately, not all over your face, but in a calculated way that is going to, remember, your face, it's your canvas, it's art, it's all about shadow and light. If you can do, you know, if you can respect, you know, shading things in with a pencil when you're drawing, it's the same concept. You are adding depth and shadow where you need depth and shadow, and you're bringing light and iridescence and glow in the spots that you want to stand out. And you can make your face look how, you know, you want it to look. So hopefully this is helpful, and you'll you can easily contact me, and I can give you some hints on how to match your proper shade for your foundations, and to get you some of the tools to create an easy no makeup look like this. That's just natural and pretty, and everyone will ask you, what are you doing? Your skin looks great. And the thing is you're putting makeup on it. All right, hopefully, and again, I'll keep you posted on how the hair turns out. All right, bye.